About 1 million years ago, Sir William Lyons started a company which became Jaguar. Later it became Jaguar Land Rover. And this is the latest Jaguar. What do you think? Absolutely beautiful. This is the first SUV that I can imagine myself buying because I actually wanted it. I think it is absolutely beautiful. Have a look at those lines. Everything about this Jaguar screams muscle, power, speed. It is an electric car. Yes, ladies and germs, it runs just on electric motors. There's two of them, one in the front, one in the back. They are good for 90 kilowatt hours from the Growler here at the front. Don't you just want to work Growler into a dinner conversation? Give it a try. At the front we've got what Jaguar calls its double J-blade daytime running lights and the LED headlights, which are fully automatic, including high beam. In this EV400, which is what the designation of this car is, you're good for about 430 kilometers of theoretical range. And I say theoretical because if you want to use the lights, the radio, the windows, in fact, anything like air conditioning that draws power, drains the power from this thing faster than a drink from a drag queen. You might say, well, what's in the front if there's no motor? Well, in this case, all we've got in it is the charging cable, and that's what you use to plug into a normal power point at home with that. And you plug that into the car. That you have to do every time you come home. Every single time you come home, you have to plug your car in. Why? Because you want to leave home with a full charge. Because this car has two motors, it's got all-wheel drive, all-surface progress control, hill launch assist, Jaguar drive control, and range for route, so you can put into your sat-nav where you want to go, and this car will tell you approximately how much battery it is going to take you to get there. Very handy if you're just getting to the very edge of the limit of what you think your power will be. It also has coil suspension, passive suspension, and an electric parking brake. It's got low traction launch and enhanced brake regeneration. It also has active vanes. These wheels are 20-inch. Like all Jaguars, this is kind of geared towards a sportier ride. So it's not luxurious as such, but it does handle quite well. Though you do notice 600 kilos worth of batteries underneath in some corners. Because the key is in my pocket, all I have to do is press this button and the handle pops out. But you'll notice that this handle didn't pop out, and that's because it's programmed to only open the driver's door. But you can open it from the key or from pressing any other handle. And you just open the door to get in. You can open the car from inside on the dash, from the key, or by pressing the little rubber badge underneath. Look, there's a good, I don't know, what is that, 6 inches or so between my knees and the seat in front. And what's 6 inches between friends? We also have a vent. Instead of being in the center console, it's right here in the door pillar. And over on the door, a particularly clever feature, you can't see it there, but just there is a light that comes on. If you're about to open your door and there's traffic approaching, that lights up to let you know not to open the door. And in fact, it won't let you open the door. The price for this car is a princely $130,200 plus on roads. There's about $10,500 worth of extras. We've got the fixed panoramic roof, which is $3,380. The driver assist pack, which includes a 360-degree blind spot monitor and camera. An adaptive cruise control for $2,230. The heads-up display that I told you about is $1,040. The 10-way heated electric seats, $806. Those black wheels we spoke about are $780. The black exterior pack is $760. Digital audio radio, or DAB, is $520. You can also configure the colour of the ambient lighting for $507, and that public charging cable that's in the back that I didn't show you is $425. Finally, the monogram aluminium trim finisher, so that beautiful aluminium on the dash, is $208. You put it into drive by just selecting the D, and that's it. That's as noisy as it gets. It's also released the handbrake automatically, so all I have to do now is just head off. The cabin's reasonably quiet, but like I said, on those big tyres, it can get a little bit too firm. But what Jaguar have done is they've adjusted the handling to suit sporting characteristics. We're really getting along now at a cracking pace. And all the while, I'm conscious of the fact that my range is going down. I really, get around there, little doggy. As we go along in this car, it feels fairly smooth and fairly controlled. It's not quite Jaguar Sports, it's not like an F-Type, although this actually is slightly faster than an F-Type. You wouldn't think so. But 4.8 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour is good in anyone's language. It's really difficult to tell how fast you're going in this thing. This feels like we're going really slow, but in fact we're doing the speed limit. The steering is very light and it doesn't have a lot in the way of feeling. And the feeling that you get from electric power steering is completely simulated. It's utterly false. It's as good as they can calibrate it in the lab with men in little white coats doing their thing. The batteries are cooled by a separate system, which is just as well. The last thing you want is your batteries bursting into flames. Now we're in the beautiful Gorston Gorge. It is stunning scenery. And this is what you want to do in a car. You want to get out and see some of the scenery. Can you do that in an electric car? Well, we are. Oh my God, some of these bends are really tight. The handling is excellent, and the reason the handling is excellent is that the motors and the battery are down low, so the lower the center of gravity, no matter what the car, the better it handles. Of course, you need decent suspension and good steering as well. As we go around the corners, I'm hardly using any accelerator at all, and I'm using absolutely no brake. I'm going almost entirely on the accelerator. Every time I take my foot off the accelerator, it goes to maximum charging. And the regenerative braking is so strong that on a downward hill like this, if I was to take my foot right off the accelerator and leave it off, it would slow completely to a halt. The whole reason you buy a Jaguar though is to go somewhere in style. And it's not about the journey, it's not even about arriving. It's about how you feel while you're on that journey and about how you feel when you arrive. And now we go across this charming bridge. Look at this. The really amazing thing is we used up almost no range going down that hill. All of those twists and turns actually boosted our range. That's just extraordinary. We'll make up for it now because we're going up the other side. Look at this switchback. Oh, come on, lovey. Because the turning circle isn't actually too bad. But the airiest thing in an electric car is the fact that you're just going along in complete silence. And the power in these electric motors is akin to a V8, and a strong V8 at that. 294 kilowatts and 696 newton meters. But it's not just the fact that they're big figures, it's the fact that it's available from the moment you put your foot down. It has a torque curve. This goes up and across. And as a result, when you put your foot down on this, you really take off like a startled gazelle. I like I-Pace a lot. I only have a few reservations, and none of it is to do with anything to do with the car itself. It's to do, as I said, with the infrastructure. On the whole, Jaguar I-Pace is absolutely brilliant. 4.8 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. There are a few problems though. The battery packs are $2,300 each, and there's $60,000 worth of them. Now, there's an 8 8-year warranty on those batteries, so you won't have to worry about them for 8 years, and you can claim on that if it gets to less than 70% efficiency. So anyone with that in that warranty period will be able to get their batteries changed for free. The question is, what do you do after that? At 10 years old, would they be worth replacing? Like Toyota Prius, the price of batteries after a few years came right down, so I'm hoping that's what happens with these. I rate Jaguar E-Pace at 8.5 out of 10. It would have gotten more, but unfortunately the reason it got a little bit less is not this car's fault. There's just a bit of a lack of charging infrastructure. As that improves, you'll be able to drive from, say, Sydney to Brisbane or Sydney to Melbourne. There's a whole lot of different charging infrastructures available, and I'll put some lists together for you and a link in the comments below. As always, follow my finger, subscribe.